Welcome back, yelling and screaming. We had a pretty damn good NFL Week 10, but Sean, I am looking forward to NFL Week 11. This might be a good one.
Got some solid games coming up. A couple of ones that I really like to see. Couple of um, you know, couple of divisional games, and just some games that I really feel like are going to kind of give us a sense of how we are going to see these teams rolling into the playoffs. Some of the positions, some kind of feeling out where they really sit as far as their position in the divisions and in the conferences, and yeah, just it'll just give me. I feel like it'll be a good indicator as to if these teams are on the rise or if they're on the fall.
Sean, we don't do this often, but there is some breaking news that just came across the Twitters. The New York Football Giants have released their punter, Matt Hack. No immediate plans for a replacement, but the team spokesman saying he just couldn't hack it.
Oh, good Lord. I'm done. I'm done with you. Oh, goodness.
Talk to me about Dak. Talk to me about the most quitting-ass quarterback, weak, pathetic, bad role. I thought Tua was a bad role model. Now we got Dak out here, not even playing. He got paid, and he's quitting. They don't even know if he needs surgery. He's just not going to play.
I genuinely believe that this might be his last season as a Cowboy. If they're smart, they do a draft day trade for Dak, get him out of there, move on from him, and really show that you're ready to bring this organization in the right direction. Somebody is going to be dumb enough to pay his contract. I hope it's not the Raiders, but somebody's going to be dumb enough to pay his contract for a draft day swap. So I mean, it's cooked. Like the organization just does not have an answer right now for what to do. Like it's chaos. Between the early injuries and just the inconsistency in play, it's just like what else can you do? You already gave him all this money off of one good season last year, where he still didn't do anything in the playoffs really to make a splash. So I think that these quarterbacks are getting paid a lot for games. Some games that don't mean nearly as much as the ones that are really important. They need to be more valued on what they can do in the playoffs, not just what they're doing in the regular season.
See, and I think that's part of where NFL fans and the NFL as a business kind of diverge a little bit, because Jerry Jones, the businessman, shouldn't care if they win Super Bowls. It doesn't matter. The Cowboys print money. Right now, Jerry Jones, the owner, the weird president of football operations that he is, we know that he at least talks about caring and wants to win, right? That's why he has his hands in the football operations constantly, screwing them all up. But really, from a business standpoint, if you approach your NFL roster as a function of your NFL business, you don't need to go to the playoffs. You don't need to win games. What you do need to do is have your multi-million-dollar a year quarterback sell jerseys. He needs to be playing. You have to not be spending money to have backup quarterbacks on your roster. When you have millions and millions of dollars invested in a big name quarterback, I would love to see Dak go to the Cleveland Browns, just as a blazing example of how shittily run that organization is. Right? They are used to paying guaranteed money to quarterbacks that have no business being behind center. So bringing Dak in, not only an upgrade over whoever they're going to pay, because it's not going to be Winston, but I mean, maybe he wins 8 games, might win that division next year. I mean, Lamar's not going to get any worse, but
hear me out.
That division.
Hear me out. Dak to the Patriots. Drake May sits another year. They pay him this ridiculous contract because they don't have to pay Drake May, and the Cowboys move on. I think that's probably their best bet. But for both of them.
I think Drake May might have better upside than Dak Prescott. Drake May's a running quarterback, apparently. Dak sometimes limps his way out of the backfield. I'm over it, man. Like you made your money. Play the game. Play the game. Like, sure, injuries happen, right? But he sucked and was a horrible leader going into this. He's sitting on the sideline, mouthing. I'm sure he said it out loud, right? Loud enough for everyone to
suck. Yeah,
we fucking suck, dude. You just got paid millions of dollars based on nothing. You are Tony Romo. Like,
now he's not even Tony Romo because Tony Romo can sit on TV and talk. So he's going to get paid more money to sit on TV and talk for the rest of his life. I'm not paying Dak for that.
That's fair. That just, CD is not innocent here either. CD's a horrible leader.
No.
The route running improvements that we saw from him last year seem to have just evaporated.
CD
tripping over bags of money.
It's just Dez Bryant. CD's just Dez Bryant.
Jesus. And Dez Bryant's just Michael Irving. Like these guys aren't good.
Whoa. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a little bit of a bone to pick with that. I think Mike Irv was a significantly better wide receiver than Dez Bryant was. Significantly better wide receiver than Dez Bryant was. Dez Bryant had some nice flashy catches, but Michael Irvin is a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and Dez Bryant ain't even close to it.
We've talked before about how much of a joke the NFL Hall of Fame is.
And I cannot stand the fucking Cowboys. So that tells you right there that I'm putting up for Mike Irv on this one because the man was still a pretty solid wide receiver. But Dez Bryant, no. And CeeDee Lamb, same thing. And I'm a Sooners fan. I'm an Oklahoma guy. So to see a guy from my organization, from our school, from a very historied football program just shit the bed. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't feel nice.
Well, but he went to the Cowboys. I'm sure he didn't graduate, so he's not really a Sooner.
Fair enough.
All right. This kind of looks like a blood week to me, and it starts on Thursday night. Man, we got the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles 3.5. Man, I am excited to see how this game plays out.
This realistically is probably one of 3 games this week that I 100% am going to be tuning in for. My big thing about this week is the Eagles took control of the division, but this right here solidifies who leads that division. The Commanders get a win here. It sends a strong message that, hey, we had a couple stumbles, but like this is our division. Don't sleep on us. And realistically, even if the Eagles did lose this game, it kind of plays into their hand as being those underdogs. So like they get a win here, it thrusts them back into the spotlight of the NFC, which they already have been showing that move anyway, but really puts them at that, now people are just going, oh, Eagles, Lions. Like that's what they're looking at in the NFC. But Washington can also put themselves right back in that conversation and really show that like they've got all the pieces in place right now to really be a strong team and make a good push for the playoffs and in the playoffs.
Squad at the Guad. If you are in the Arizona area, we will be watching this game at the Guadalupe on Main in Mesa. Feel free to join us. It's a great time. Moving into the Sunday slate, right off the bat here, Bears-Packers, the oldest rivalry in football and the only thing that matters, and this one's at Soldier Field. For me, this is put up or shut up. The quarterback that wins this game will probably be their team's quarterback next year. The quarterback that loses this game is going to lose their job to Malik Willis. Give me the Bears. Packers -6 on the road. That's disrespectful. Jordan Love has done absolutely nothing to show me that he's better than Caleb Williams. Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears defense.
Okay, so that was going to be my one caveat to it is that you said give me the Bears defense. Again, divisional game. I'm not a divisional game. I will say this. The Bears have lost 3 straight. In their last 3 wins, they put up significant points, and then they just fell off. So for me, it's seeming a little bit like it's got to be something going on with coaching or something going on. It's got to be something going on with the play call, maybe, because there's no way that you go from putting up 24, 36, and 35 to putting up 15, 9, and 3 in three weeks in a row, and and it's not just something has to be going on right here.
Well, Sean, I'm assuming you didn't see this today. They fired Shane Waldron this morning. They fired the offensive coordinator. So
Well, there
at
you
least
go. I did not see that this
from a
morning.
management
So
standpoint, they agree with you, right? They're business Shane Waldron. I still, for me, it still comes back to organization. You shouldn't have hired Shane Waldron, but
I mean, but I will say this though. You're saying you shouldn't have hired Shane Waldron, but after that Jaguars win, Shane Waldron is looking pretty damn good. I mean, granted, it was Jaguars, Panthers,
Jaguars.
and a very injured Rams. Jaguars, Panthers, and a very injured Rams. But after that, you're not seeing Shane Waldron's not looking too bad. Now, Commanders team much better defense, but a very significantly strong offense. You're like, okay, we didn't do well that game. Then you look at the Cardinals game, you're like, well, man, we gave up a ton of points there and we didn't really do anything special. And then you go against the Patriots and you go 3 points on the board. I mean, even if your defense gave up 19, you go 3 points on the board, you can't win a damn football game with 3 points on the board. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to go ahead and say that it had to be something going on with the play call. So maybe he just was thinking of things that Caleb wasn't ready for. Or maybe he moved away from what Caleb was comfortable with or what was successful and they were not here for it. But whatever the case is, it's something that they need to bounce back from. And I'm assuming that whoever they're going to have doing the play calls right now seems like it feels like a better fit for what Caleb Williams needs in order for this offense to be successful again. The only thing that I'm saying is they got to do it against a Packers team that is definitely out for blood. They're going to definitely want to get in here and show that they're the team to beat in that division, even though they are not the team to beat in that division. They want to prove that they are strong enough to lead this division, and they're going to have to do it by beating divisional rivals. So this is a good start for them.
I mean, they have the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions on Thanksgiving. Those are the next 3 games. So if you're a Bears fan, if you're Eberflus, you better be calling the goddamn plays, and you better win those 3 games. If you don't win these divisional games, it's going to be tough, right? The season's over.
Never easy.
Right, and
yeah.
It's rookie quarterbacks, so you didn't need to go to the playoffs this year, but the Bears fans got themselves all up in arms, and that's what the Bears fans expected. So firing your offensive coordinator right now puts your head coach on the chopping block at the end of the year. If the Bears lose these 3 games and then lose another game before the end of the season to finish below 500, that might be it. This is a weird spot for me. I don't know if you fire your OC halfway through the season.
Well, again, this is the point right now where they got to turn the corner. So if firing your OC is what you need to do to get your team to the playoffs, then you got to do what you got to do. I will say this though, I don't think that this is one of those instances where the head coach is done after 1 year. And the reason why is because the other teams in the division are so successful right now that if the Bears ended up the season as an 8-9 team, coming off of last season, that shows some promise. They bring in a new OC next year. They make a couple of additional changes, maybe on the line or on the defensive side of the ball. Suddenly they flip the script. Now a couple of tight games that they lose. Maybe they don't lose that game against the Rams. Maybe they don't lose that game against the Colts. Some of those one-score games go the other way. Now you're a 10, 11, 12-win team. So I think that's really what they're probably looking at. They're still looking at this as going to be a developmental year for Caleb Williams, which is what it should have been in the first place. It was not a Williams or bust season 1. I just don't think that was what they're really looking for. But what we can see is some of the energy that goes into the play calls, goes into the way that he's working with his teammates, how they're responding to his leadership, and things like that, especially with the new receiver core in the backfield and the offensive line, like how they coordinate with each other. Our guys pulling when they need to pull to get in front of him, how his receivers blocking outside, just little intangibles like that are the difference between a quarterback scrambling and getting sacked or a dump down the field or something looking open downfield. Is just them understanding each other better. So I think that's probably where they are right now for the Bears. I don't see this as being a make or break season for the head coach, but I do think that this is a good time for them to just say, let's make a change and let's see if we can make that push. But I think Caleb Williams is there to stay. I don't see him going anywhere after this season.
Caleb Williams will still be there. Is he going to be the quarterback?
And I think he'll still keep his job.
And truly, I agree with you. Nobody's going anywhere. But a couple points. This is Eberflus's 3rd season. He went 3-14 and then 7-10, and now they're 4-5. This isn't new. He has a proven record of an inability to make good coaching hires and to win games. Waldron, his glowing endorsement was that Russell Wilson really liked him. The Seahawks sucked so bad they traded Russell Wilson away. The Bears are like, "Ooh, yes, damaged goods, offensive coordinator time." So the other thing I want to call about your points is that like you listed the things that are going wrong with the Bears that make it not the head coach's fault, not the quarterback's fault, but you named every single position group. So at what point is the organization responsible, right? And I know the answer to that is never, right? They're never going to sell. They're run and managed like shit. I get that, right? But like at a certain point, if you're saying it's all these other things, you got to fix some of them. And all they keep doing is drafting quarterbacks higher than they should be drafted. So I'm struggling with it as someone who's Bears fan adjacent because this team has no path to get better.
I mean, I just think that okay. Full disclosure, I'm an eternal optimist. So when I list out all the things that a team, an organization that can do to get better, I'm not saying I expect them to do all those things at once. But you get a little bit better here, you get a little bit better there. You understand your playbook better. Your receivers run the routes a little bit better for you as a quarterback. Your guy turns just a bit quicker in his release so that you can get the ball to him just a bit quicker. You start throwing those.
Oh no, we lost you. We're gonna ship Sean an Ethernet cable. We're gonna plug it into the back of the computer. All right, really quickly. I hear him. He's back.
I'll get off. I'll just say that it takes a little bit of a lot of different things that improves the team. So realistically, the Bears got a lot of work to do. But the longer you develop together, the more you can see some of those things happen. And that's what good teams do.
Speaking of growing together and stuff good teams do, how about we go to the other side of that coin? Jaguars, Lions. I don't have a whole lot to say about the Jaguars other than their uniforms were amazing. The white helmets with the black jerseys with the teal trim, fire. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about the Jags. I will very quickly mention before I kick it to you, Jared Goff had probably like the worst game you could ever have as a quarterback, and the Lions won. And I am running out of reasons to not believe that the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL.
I can't say the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL until someone beats the Chiefs. It's just not possible.
Someone beat the Chiefs this week, damn it.
Just not possible. It's just not possible. Sorry. It's not possible. If the Chiefs lose this week, that conversation still it's a very tight conversation because again, the Lions only loss is Vikings?
I honestly don't know. I'm looking up who the right tackle is for the Chiefs because he's the cheatingest ass lineman in the history of the league.
All I will say is that until someone beats the Chiefs are still the best team in the NFL. However, the Lions, in my opinion, are absolutely number 2 in the NFL. And Jared Goff had the worst game that he could have possibly had and still came out with a win. The Lions only loss was week 2 against the Bucs, and it was a 4-point loss. So, I mean, taking into consideration the fact that they've beaten the shit out of a bunch of crappy teams, because I'm not going to get, beating the Titans, you're supposed to. You're supposed to beat the shit out of the Titans. You're supposed to beat the shit out of the Cowboys because they're trash. Most of their other games have been tighter. The Seahawks, they demolished. But, I mean, realistically, like, the Lions have been clicking on all cylinders. Their offensive line is able to block really well. Their running backs are having wide open lanes all over the field. And then Jared Goff has been arguably the most accurate, besides this game, the most accurate quarterback in the NFL this year. So they're clicking on all cylinders on offense. And their defense, even without Aiden Hutchinson, is still playing at a very high level. So, I mean, they are able to keep playing above the competition, and that's going to keep them winning games. I mean, realistically, beating the shit out of the Jaguars is just the next step in that. It should be a bloodbath. I mean, looking on, they got Packers coming up, they got Bills coming up, they got 2 games against the Bears, they got the Vikings. and they got the Niners. So they're not closing out the season by any means on an easy note. I mean, it starts off with Jags and Colts. They should win those games pretty easily, and then you go division. One of the best teams in the NFL division, one of the better defenses in the NFL division again. So the back half of their schedule is loaded with teams that are going to be playing as hard as they can to make it to the playoffs. So they're not going to have an easy cakewalk anywhere. But if they come out as a 16-1 team and the Chiefs win out, I might be pressed. I might actually have an argument with you over which team is the better team, depending on how the Chiefs do with the rest of this season. If they again sneak away with a couple of divisional wins and don't show their strongest, show that they're moving in the right direction, but end up beating, bad teams, I might agree with you there on the Lions being the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, let's save the Kansas City cheat conversation for when we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh my goodness!
Raiders Dolphins. I think my only question with this game is, can the Dolphins score enough points on the Raiders to convince me that they're going to make a run in a really susceptible AFC East?
I've been looking at their schedule. They have the easiest back half schedule in the NFL right now. If Tua puts up 30 points this game, and for me, it needs to be 30. Anything less than that, and they're just an average team. But if Tua puts up 30 points for me this game, and they keep the Raiders from scoring 20, I think that I'm ready to say that the Dolphins are back into contention of being a playoff caliber team. I think that with Tua in there, not making any bonehead fucking plays like diving headfirst on a pick, which was so stupid. If he does not make any stupid plays that will get him injured, outside of what normally happens in the NFL, guy tackles you, you can't do anything about it, head gets whipped around, blah. That's anything that gets. But if he doesn't, and he puts up at least 30. Those teams that we're looking at and going, all right, they're ready. They're ready. They're getting hot.
We're lagging a little bit behind, so I'm just going to say the Rams and the Patriots play each other. That is a fact.
The Rams should be healthier. The Rams should be healthier. This should be an easier win for them against a not good Patriots team. So that's really it.
Much by the same vein, Browns Saints. Give me the double tight end touchdown parlay. I like.
Okay.
Give me Njoku and Hill both to score in this game. That's about all I have to say about it.
Interesting. I think that this is a Jameis revenge game. So I would take the Browns in this game. Anytime I see a quarterback play against a team that he previously played for, especially one that he ended up leaving on like a little bit of a scoring level, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's ready.
God, I hate Andy Dalton so much. All right, Ravens Steelers. This is a huge matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, very important for the division, but I think a very important game. Just at the point in the season these two teams are. The Ravens have looked nearly unstoppable. The Steelers' defense has been phenomenal, and the offense has done enough to win games. Obviously, two different starting quarterbacks there with very little drop-off in performance through that transition. I'm excited to see this one, but my new best friend Lamar is going to take a terrible towel and beat that ass. I think Ravens win this one going away. Maybe a late pick 6 or something, win by 10 or 13.
Yeah, I definitely see the Ravens taking the win here. The Steelers' defense is still, it's been one of those premier defenses that you typically see out of a Mike Tomlin team. For me, this game is going to come down to, can Tomlin's coaching outwork Lamar's athleticism? Because I think that if he can keep him contained and keep Lamar off the field, then it's going to be a much better game for his team to be able to, much better chance for them to win this game. And playing at home, it's always makes it a little bit easier for you guys. But Lamar Jackson, if he's on, look out. If he's on like he was in that Broncos game, if he's on, I mean, even this Bengals game they came on late and just look out. 84-yard touchdown pass to Bateman. Like this guy just when he's ready to go and his team is firing and he just has that look in his eye, that monster look, like nobody can touch me right now. I'm unstoppable. Look out. He can because they can score for that. I didn't acknowledge him in the stream.
All right.
We're
In
live,
theory, we're live again.
Let's go.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see us live. We're back on.
Let's go.
Not exactly sure what happened there. That's going to be a pain in the ass to marry those videos up. But we were just saying that we don't give a shit about the Vikings and the Titans. I don't really have any notes on that game. It's just not going to be pretty. The Titans are bad.
The Titans are not a good team. The Vikings they should throttle them. I mean, realistically, they just shown to be a better team this season, and I don't see anything that's going to change that. It's not like it's a divisional game where they see each other a lot, so there's anything, to really connect on it. And the Titans are just who the Titans going to draft. That's the only thing I can think of is who the Titans going to draft or who they're going to trade to try to get to trade back for, because that's really the only thing that's worth looking at.
They've got a lot of holes. I mean, pretty much the only thing you don't have to address, well, the last thing you should address is running back. You have pieces there. You can make that work. Everything else is kind of up in the air. But, man, now I lost Sean again. We are having some technical difficulties today, team. Colts and the Jets. God, I hope Sean can hear me because what I'm about to say, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is a top 3 quarterback in this game. Obviously, he'll start for the Jets. I think we're going to get more comeback player of the year type performance out of the Colts. Not super excited to watch this game. However, I think this game has a lot of importance for both of these teams. So while it might not be the best game in the time slot, the Colts need this bad. They really need to start firming up who they are outside of JTT. Obviously, your quarterback's hurt. So, there's a little bit of takeaway there where it's like, all right, this isn't our squad. This isn't our guys. But the wide receivers suck. The defense has been pretty suspect. And then the other side of the ball, hey, Sean, the Jets are bad. The Jets are a really bad football team. And I'm not sure why. On paper, they look fine, right? My thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers is still an NFL quarterback in this league. I would rather have Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback than some of the guys other teams are rolling out. That's not the issue. He is playing like shit, but the wide receivers are inconsistent. The running backs, through no fault of their own, it just seems like they can't be trusted by the offense. You're not just going to hand Breece Hall the ball 30 times a game and let him run it down their throat. It's like they don't trust him to do that. And you see when he gets higher up in carries, he can put up yards. He can wear down a defense. I don't know if it's just because there's no passing game to speak of or because the tight ends are bad. But this Jets team, who they were against the Cardinals is who they are. That is the Jets. And unless they turn that around, the season's over.
I agree with you. The biggest issue for me too is definitely the inconsistency in play. But my big thing is this. So I think Aaron Rodgers, you're 100%. He is an NFL quarterback. He has a job to do, and he's been shown to be able to do that job in historically, which is why he's still playing in the NFL at an older age. But on top of that, this team is still trying to build around him, i.e., getting him pieces to be able to perform at the highest level. But I will say this: he targeted Devontae 13 times, Garrett Wilson 6, Breece Hall 4. No one else saw more than 2 targets for the rest of that game. Quarterback throws 35 times for only 151 yards. That's a problem. And he got sacked 3 times for 23 yards. That's a problem, right? you only have 17 carries in a game. What this tells me is that he's not hitting the receivers just as much as the receivers aren't catching the ball. Because this just seems like a bunch of 3-and-outs. And I went to this game, by the way, and it was a bunch of 3-and-outs. They just could not get any rhythm. The Jets had no movement on the field. Their energy didn't seem great, and you could tell after the Cardinals scored the first 2 touchdowns and they only got 2 field goals. You could see that the energy on their sideline was just like, here we go again. And then you see a 3-and-out, boom, punt. Another 3-and-out, boom, punt. Oh, the Jets get a couple yards down the field. Never mind, it's a punt. And it's like they just don't seem like a team who is able to move the ball down the field consistently. They either do it well in one instance and then do it terribly in another instance, or they're just not. It is 100% going to be a game. I feel like of punts and turnovers. I can see Aaron Rodgers throwing some picks. I can see some fumbles on both sides of the ball. I see Joe Flacco again doing his thing and looking like that comeback player of the year. But I mean, realistically,
Man, I don't know if it's us or StreamYard, but we are having a hell of a time today. If you work for StreamYard and happen to see this, I don't know what the hell's going on, but we are having all kinds of issues. Falcons, Broncos. Broncos actually favored in this game. Broncos should have won the game against the Chiefs, but you let the Chiefs hang around. And I just want to call out Jawan Taylor, who is the right tackle for the Chiefs, who cheats constantly. Should be expected. He committed to the University of Miami and then transferred to the Florida Gators. So, cheating at football is probably not the first thing he's cheated at. But, I mean, you've seen the replays. He jumps off sides constantly. But Falcons, Broncos. The Falcons are the better team here, I think. The Broncos defense has been really good. It looks really good. I think the Falcons win this game if they can execute appropriately. They're having trouble moving the ball in like kind of those medium yardage situations, kind of seeing them flounder there. I think you go back to the run game. Not running Bijan at the goal line is insane to me. Algier is a good running back, but he's not a great running back. So I don't know if they're afraid Bijan's going to fumble. He keeps a loose handle on the ball sometimes. I don't know if that's kind of why they don't trust him in that situation. But, I mean, Algier had 3 carries from inside the 1-yard line, couldn't convert it. They handed Bijan, he just bangs it in. So for me, as a fan and as a quasi-analyst, just hand the damn ball to Bijan. Seems pretty straightforward. Seahawks and 49ers. Divisional game. That's what Sean would tell you. This division's tight. I think that the Cardinals are actually leading this division. We've seen it before. This division's put more losing teams into the playoffs than any division in the history of the NFL. It's actually impressive. Part of it's that they play each other so tight. Play each other really, really well. And, no team can really get that momentum going. Ends up being cold in San Francisco quite a bit, especially come this time of year. So, the Seahawks will be prepared for that, but don't count out weather being an issue. Santa Clara is Southern California, but Levi Stadium is like up in the mountains. Levi Stadium gets cold, it gets windy. So, if you mix in weird weather with a divisional game with 2 teams that, at least on paper, are somewhat evenly matched, CMC coming back really tips the scale. I think for the Niners, just because it kind of hides a lot of what they're missing at wide receiver. They essentially have like Michael Crabtree and the guy who got shot. I feel like that's who's playing at this point. I know Crabtree doesn't play anymore, but number 15, was it Johnson? Every time he goes up the ball, all I can think is Michael Crabtree. So I mean, this team's decimated, but CMC is essentially
Jennings, Juwan Jennings, yeah.
Jennings. Yeah. So I mean, give me the Niners here close, but man, I'll be rooting for the Hawks. I just want the chaos out west.
Honestly, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on the Niners. But I believe in the Seahawks. I just feel like it's a divisional game is always a tough one. And I want the Seahawks to get to that next point. It is a tight division already, so I would love to see them, really get over that hurdle. Never been a big fan of the Niners, and just watching the inconsistent play and then squeak out a win here against the Bucks. It doesn't give me any of that energy that the Niners have given me in the previous couple of years, where you're like, oh, this team right here is that team. Like, these guys are serious. They're going to be a real contender. Just doesn't seem like this is that type of year for them. And again, yeah, the injuries are a huge part of that. But it wasn't like their running back play really fell off with CMC going out, because what that proves to me is that they still had a really good offensive line. But what I'm seeing now is really their wide receivers. Like, Ayuk wanting a bunch of money. Well, maybe he wanted a bunch of money because he was like, yeah, I ain't going to have the type of year that I had last year, so I need to get my money now. Maybe that was part of the reason why we don't know that, because suddenly all the receivers get injured. Suddenly we see that receiver play fall off. And we got third and fourth string receivers in here, and it just doesn't look like the Niners team that we expected to see this year. So I bet on the Niners again, having their number one guy back at both running back and wide receiver, running back and receiver, not wide receiver, but receiver, opens up a lot more options for you as far as who you can get the ball to. Brock Purdy feels comfortable with him. I mean, 6 receptions on 7 targets last week. So I mean, he accounted for 20 touches, 19 touches, with only 13 carries for him coming back. But those 13 carries netted him 39 yards. So again, like, he's the guy that Brock Purdy wants to get the ball to. The Seahawks have to stop Brock Purdy from getting the ball to him. That's what it comes down to.
This next one, probably the game of the week. I don't think it's going to be the most entertaining game of the week, but it's definitely the one, either this one or Ravens Steelers. It has the most impact on what happens the rest of the year. Chiefs and Bills in Buffalo. I think this might be the last real chance the Chiefs have to lose. Eventually, they're going to not be a team that almost loses to the Broncos. Eventually, they're not going to be a team where Mahomes sucks. Kelsey's rounded into form. The running game with Hunt is rounding into form. The defense has been there all year. If the Bills don't beat them here, I don't know who does. Bills 2.5-point favorite at home. They've also looked better as of late. I honestly don't think I'll be betting this game. Give me the Bills at home for pick'em, but I think the Chiefs are undeniable at this point. Like, I don't. They will find a way to beat the Bills. It'll be Josh Allen running for a touchdown and he gets blasted at the 1 and fumbles, and that'll end the game. Something insane.
Something ridiculous.
Doesn't make sense.
Josh Allen gets sacked, fumbles, ball picked up, rushed it back for a touchdown, game ends.
Yeah.
Something stupid.
Yeah, like he's taking the knee to kick a game-winning field goal, and he drops the snap. Like, just something's gonna happen.
So here's the reason why I think this game means a lot more for the Bills than it does for the Chiefs.
They got their perfect season.
The perfect season is irrelevant. It doesn't matter at all. I'll tell you right now. The perfect season is not something that a team really should care to strive for. They should be cared to strive to win the games that they have the opportunity to win. If you're a 2-loss Bills team, as long as you win out the rest of your season, which they have a damn sure good chance of doing, playing the Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Browns, Texans, that's how the end of their season looks after this Bills game. So realistically, the Steelers could steal one from them. The Texans could steal one from them, and then you've got maybe a Chargers team, but probably not, and maybe a Broncos team at the end of the season, probably not. If the Chiefs win this game, They are the number 1 seed in the AFC, no matter what. They will have that bye. There is no one taking that away from them. If they lose this game, they still are favored to be that number 1 seed. But the Bills lose this game, then they might fall behind the Ravens to the 3. And so that could matter a lot more when you're looking at your playoff positions as to who's going to end up playing each other at home in that, that divisional round game that then ends up playing potentially against whoever the Chiefs play. So that's really what I'm seeing here in this game. The Bills definitely want to be able to finally put that stamp on the Chiefs and say, nah, it's our time now. Like, we're tired of seeing you guys beat us or beat another. We're tired of that. This is a big game for Josh Allen here. For Patrick Mahomes, they've been squeaking away with wins all season. If they lose a game against the Bills at home, and it's their toughest, and it's probably going to be the toughest game that they have for the rest of the season, I don't think it looks bad for them, really. If they get destroyed by the Bills, then even more so, Patrick Mahomes sits out the fourth quarter, and you just relax and you say, this game doesn't mean anything to us. So this could be that thing. It could be a blessing in disguise for the Chiefs, because they could just, if the game gets out of hand early, then you just kind of relax and you say, well, this game doesn't mean anything to us. A perfect season is irrelevant. The perfect season thing really only comes into play when you get towards the last 3 games of the season, right? Then people start really honing in on that. But realistically, a 9-0 Chiefs team loses a game, they go to 9-1, whoop-de-fucking-do. Against a Bills team, by the way, that is supposed to be there. They're supposed to be there. They're supposed to be one of those teams that you expect that's going to make it to the AFC Championship. So for them, if they lose this game, it means a lot more to them. But if the Chiefs lose and the Bills win, game's still gonna be the same division, still gonna be the same conference.
I'm torn as a football fan and a hater. I'm torn in 2 directions here. I would very much like the 1972 Dolphins to disappear from football forever. They sucked. It was a different era. No one cares. Mercury Morris wouldn't even make an NFL roster. I want them to go away forever. I wanted it to be the Patriots because at least Tom Brady isn't hateable. I will take it with the Chiefs.
I hate Tom Brady.
I will take it. Yeah. At least it doesn't sound like Kermit the Frog.
I'll take Kermit over a cheater any day. And you want to tell me about cheating, but Tom Brady got caught cheating multiple times and nothing fucking happened. What did he lose, like a draft pick?
Chiefs right tackle.
No, I'm talking about getting caught with investigations. So, you talk about one guy. You know what? The referee missing calls. That's on the referees. I'm not calling a player a cheater. But players deflating balls, players not tucking the ball and giving away.
Yeah, people
Tom
for that.
didn't do it. You're right. Tom didn't do it. You're right. They just happened to be throwing balls with less. He just happened to be the one throwing the balls with less air in them. You're right.
Sunday Night Football, Bengals, Chargers. I'm excited to watch this one on its own, kind of give it the attention it deserves. I think the loser of this game is eliminated from the playoffs. I think it's done. You lose this game, you're done.
Bengals already eliminated. The Bengals already eliminated. And the reason why the Bengals already eliminated is because they can't win a game when they score 30 points. So the Chargers can put up 30 points in this game. They can. If they put up 30 points, the Bengals lose. Doesn't matter. So the Bengals, their only shot at the Chargers are favored. It's a game at home. The Bengals should win this game because they have the most ridiculous offense in the NFL that has so many losses. It's incredible to think that Joe Burrow could put up 400 passing yards and Jamar Chase could end up with, in 2 games against the Ravens, put up 450 plus receiving yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns and still lose both games? What can you do?
If the season ended today, the Bengals would be out of playoff position, and the last seed in the AFC would go to the Broncos.
Yeah.
That's who the Bengals are. The Bengals are the team that misses out on the playoffs to Bo Nix.
7 seed Bo, ready to go.
Monday Night Football, the battle for Texas, the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think it matters who plays quarterback for the Cowboys in this game. Cooper Rush is not it. I don't know who else they have on the roster, but I don't know what they're doing.
I'll tell you right now, CJ Stroud needs this game. I think that he's going to be very angry. And I think after the 2 losses to the Jets and the Lions, it's about time for the Texans to step up and say, you know what, we are, we're not what you guys think we are. 6-4 is not where we want to be, and it's not where we're going to sit. Beating the shit out of their schedule right now looks so soft. Cowboys, Titans, Jaguars, and then it gets real tough with a couple of games in the Chiefs and the Ravens, depending on how the Dolphins do, and then they go back to the Titans. So realistically, they should have 1, 2, 3, 4 more out of 6 wins. I mean, that's pretty good. That's 4 out of 6 more, games that they should easily take the win in. So, I mean, if I'm them, I am pretty excited about how this back half of the season is going to look. Just start off by demolishing the Cowboys. Start off with that. And then look forward to the Titans, late in this game, and then just keep that momentum going. They need it.
Yeah, they'll win the division, but obviously it matters where you finish in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in a dome, there's not a whole lot of AFC playoff teams that are going to be inside. So being able to secure at least a home game is really important there. I did have to look it up, but Trey Lance is the other option in Dallas.
Oh, and instead of Cooper Rush, yeah.
I don't think it matters, honestly. But
it really doesn't. No, unless Trey Lance started doing the stupid hip motion shit, then they're like, oh my god, that's the second coming of Dak, which is just the third coming of Cooper Rush.
I am excited for this game on Monday night because it means I get my Monday night back. I don't have to watch this. I can do it literally anything else. So I think I'm filming Dead Ball Dancing. Like, check. If you see this video, I don't know what this video is going to be called on our channel, but if you like college basketball, Dead Ball Dancing, right here on the channel, Mondays, Tuesdays. I don't know. You'll see it scheduled, and that's a fun one.
This will be week 11 part 2.
Yeah, I gotta actually name it up, or maybe I'll download them and marry them together. We'll see. All kinds of technical difficulties.
Put a little graphic in the middle, a little animation.
A hard cut dance. Do the hard cut dance.
I like it.
Cardinals, Panthers, Giants, Buccaneers on bye. Sean, we've somehow managed to move at still a pretty good clip here. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about this week?
I do want to say, I want to make special mention. There are some teams that I'm seeing right now that I see that are on the way up. And I want to give a little shout out to the homie. The homie Billy came in to visit from Canada, Niagara, and we decided to go to the game, Cardinals-Jets game, and to see the Cardinals play like that against a Jets team that obviously you don't have any confidence in, but they have the potential to score. And to see the absolutely in person in some great seats was an awesome thing to do. Shout out to all the people in Arizona, all the people in 602 who came out and watched the game too. Jersey Jason, Anita, Big Joe. There's a lot of people who came out and watched that game for many reasons. Some of them some of them, they're Jets fans. Some of them are Packers fans who, really still love Aaron Rodgers. So it was pretty cool to see that, see a big crew come out and kind of watch that game. And then, realistically, if you're a Giants fan, it's a wrap. Any teams that loses to the Panthers, it's a wrap. I don't know what they're gonna do in this off week, but it doesn't matter because their team is cooked. So
it was bad. That was a bad game.
It was a bad game. To lose to the Panthers. I mean, shout out to my guy Bryce Young, by the way. Give him some love because he was benched. And then what happened now? Comes back, wins games. So maybe he just needed a few minutes.
I hope
Maybe
Andy
he just
Dalton
needed a few minutes to
retires.
just kind of just like a hang out. Maybe he just needed some time to really get his head clear
Gotta get slapped in the face once to be good.
and yeah, I mean maybe he's back. Who's to say?
There's only two things that are also red more unacceptable in the NFL than Andy Dalton. The old name for the Washington football team and the uniforms that the Texans wore on Sunday. Out of here. Out of here. No more.
No more. No more.
This was Yelling and Screaming. We are sorry for the IT issues, whether they're our fault or StreamYard's fault or mostly StreamYard's fault for dumping our
Definitely
stream.
mostly StreamYard's fault.
But
I will work on getting my connection better for next week, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on here. I bought a new setup to make sure that I could give you guys my undivided attention, and StreamYard decided to shit the bed this week. So we'll work on it next week and keep trying to give you guys the best content that we can.
If you haven't played Chainlink yet, that is our new sports game, chainlink.st. Hop on there, make your picks free to play. Unlike a lot of these sites trying to beat you out of your money, we just want your user numbers in there so that in the future we can beat you out of your money. But right now it's free. Dead Ball Dancing again, college football, a college basketball show Mondays and Tuesdays. And if you're in the Phoenix Valley or adjacent area, I mean, maybe as far away as LA, Thursday night football at the Guadalupe on Main. We'll see you there for Squad.
Phenomenal cocktails, phenomenal food, Jalisco style Mexican. I'm telling you right now, you won't regret it. It's incredible out in Mesa. Come through. 602 crowd's always there. Squad at the Guad. Shout out to Dirty Mike and the boys. Just whipping up some good eats and some good drinks and a good vibe.
I realized that my camera's mirrored, so sometimes when I point at my thing here, it flips it, and I'm actually like pointing to empty space. So I am King of Lakemore everywhere you can find me.
I am at KS Flash. Mine is in the same spot, right here.
Thanks for joining us, Yelling and Screaming. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
Peace.